Hello, hello. MoJo here. How are you today? I'm so glad to see you. I have got the Beatles stuck in my head today. P.S. I love you. As I write this letter, oh, send this love to you. I want you to remember I'll always be in love with you. I do these things. I do this singing thing, yes, because singing is a very spiritual thing to do. Music is very spiritual. Music music moves energy. Music is energy that moves. It's wonderful. Try it. Now it happens that, and I'm going to get into the topic here in just a sec. And I apologize that I don't look all that great. I just got back from my mom's, and that doesn't mean like we've been partying or anything, but I just got back from my mom's and I feel like I'm just not really settled in yet. She lives about 75 miles away. And so we get together as often as we can. And last night, I just, in the afternoon, I went up there and helped her hang a picture and helped her repaint a frame. And then we went out to dinner at a place called Ransom's, Ransom', in Montgomery, Texas. And we found that it was very good. So I recommend that. And then we hung out. We watched a little bit of America's Got Talent, and we did this and that, and we had a great time. Spent the night, got up, had some Starbucks, and I headed home. But like I said, I don't feel like I just got up at my own house and like showered and made up and all that. So I apologize if I look too unkempt for you. All right, back to music. So music is very, very, like I said, it's very spiritual. And personally, like a lot of people, I grew up in a house with a lot of music. My mother was very musical. She played piano. She sang, and I say these in the past tense, not because she's no longer with us. She is, and she's still musical, and now she plays the ukulele. But she was in a choir of some sort all of her life from about age 7. And so we had a really nice stereo. We had a lot of records. We had a piano in the house. My sister and I were both in marching band. I was in a children's choir at church. I was in youth choir in high school. Yeah. And so, and we always had the radio on. There was a radio in the kitchen. We listened to the radio during breakfast, and my mother was in the theater and did musicals, and so was I. And she was in the local chorale, which is now called the Montgomery County Choral Society, but she was a charter member of that in the 60s. And so, my whole childhood was, had a running soundtrack of my mother practicing the alto part, so it was all of this. She'd be in the kitchen and I can remember her going, ooh, ooh, just vocalizing, not even, it didn't sound like a tune. There weren't any words. She was just going, just memorizing her music. So I came from this really musical family. And then in high school, well, I started in theater at age 8. And so being in musical theater and all through high school and all of that, it meant that, I hung out with the musical theater kids and all the choir kids. And so I am not kidding you. At parties, people were always bursting into song. Seriously. I mean, and at home too. In my house, we were always singing. And I'm still always singing. You can ask my husband. But at parties, I wasn't in the school choir, but the kids who were, they would have just come from contest and they'd have gotten a 1 in, solo and ensemble or whatever. And so they would do their best pieces that they enjoyed the most. And my younger daughter had the same experience, being in choir, being in show choir and all of that. So, just like Glee, just like the TV show Glee. It was exactly like that without the slushies. And so that's the world that I come from. Now, I married a man who grew up without any of that. Now, my first husband grew up without any of that, but he loved music and he had a lot of cassettes. This was a long time ago. He had a lot of cassettes that he could play in his car. And, so then we got a stereo because my old stereo was had it. So we got a stereo and we got CDs. This was back in the 80s. Got CDs and really started a nice CD collection. And then, we had cassettes custom made for our wedding, and he made some mixed CDs for me, oh gosh, they were mixed tapes back then. Yeah, they were. So anyway, so that was our musical. Well, my current husband, my first husband died. My current husband is, let's see, we've been together 5.5 years, and he grew up without any of that. Now, he likes music. He has a decent voice and a decent ear. He says he can't dance, but he's got rhythm. He's just never been exposed to dancing. And so when I just want music on all the time and I'm always singing and all of that, he doesn't get it. I mean, he likes music, and a lot of times we'll put on music while we're cooking or doing something together. But he doesn't just have to have it all the time. He likes it quiet a lot, especially when we were in the car, which is a time when I listen to the radio and Spotify and Sirius XM, and he just a lot of times just wants it quiet. And it's real interesting to me that there are these two different types. There does not seem to be a type in between. That I don't know a lot of people who, oh yeah, I go to some concerts, I listen to the radio. That was another thing that we did when I was growing up, is my grandparents always had season tickets to the symphony, so we went to that as well, and also theater in Houston, which Houston has some considerable theater. Anyway, so the point is, whichever one you are, whether you are a covered up with music person, always a song in your head, always a song on your lips, bursting into song because somebody said reminded you of something, then whether you're that, or whether you're the person who grew up without a piano, without a stereo, without a radio, without singing, without somebody singing you to sleep at night, without going to church and singing in church, without choir, whichever one you are, it doesn't matter. I just want you to recognize that music is very spiritual. It's very useful. It's great for shifting energy. And now we're getting to the topic today. All right, let's see here. I'm watching my time. I want to make sure that I'm not taking too much of your time, because I love to come in here and talk to you, and I can get carried away, as you can tell. All right, the topic is, what is coaching? And I took a survey not long ago. I conducted a survey. You may have taken the survey, and it revealed, a pretty good cross-section of people revealed that about 90% of the respondents had never worked with a coach. And so I thought, wow, I love the 10% who get coaching and have worked with a coach, know what it is, and blah, blah, blah. And when I drilled down to those 10%, and looked at their other answers, and I could see, what it was like for them working with a coach and what they got out of it or didn't get out of it. But I thought, I want to talk to those 90% and say, hey, this is a resource that's available to you that you don't know about. You've never worked with a coach before, and you may have heard of a coach or coaching, life coaching, business coaching, this kind of thing. But what is it, and what would it mean to you if you got to work with a coach? Okay, so I am not every coach. I'm not your grandma's coach. I'm not your high school track coach. I am MoJo. So let's talk about what is MoJo's coaching, all right? First of all, very basic definition of coaching is that coaching is to help you accomplish, achieve, and acquire, right? It's to help you get what you want, meet your goals, establish goals, figure out what you want, that sort of thing. And the difference between coaching and therapy, and a lot of therapists have become coaches, they like it better. And I'm not one, not a therapist. The difference is that therapy begins with the concept that you are broken and you need to fix your past. Coaching begins with the concept that you are whole as you are, and you have everything you need to move forward. And then you work from right now to build your future that you love. I find both of them to be extremely valuable. I have had I've had a couple of coaches, not a whole lot, but one of my coaches is a business coach. Well, what happens in business coaching is they wind up life coaching too, because you can't really, and I'm not saying that everybody has to have a coach, but you can't really move forward in a business any more than you can in your life until you kind of get yourself together, till you understand yourself, become very self-aware, and then start working towards those goals. So I kind of combine some of that in my coaching. I really believe very powerfully in journaling, and I co-journal with my clients. And that means that I teach them my method, and then we do it together on their stuff. So in other words, you come to me and say, coach me. And I go, okay, what do you want that you have? What do you want to accomplish, achieve, or acquire that you don't currently have? And then you would say, well, I've always wanted to be, I don't know, a movie star. I've always wanted to be a CEO. I've always wanted to be a seamstress, whatever it is that you're wanting. And if you don't know what you want, we also talk about that. We work on that. But with the journaling, we do work on your past a little bit, because the part of your past that has created your present, you need to understand that. You need to know what went on in your childhood and more recently that actually holds you back from getting what you want to achieve, accomplish, and acquire. All right. For most of us, it is down at the very bottom. Like you might be, I'm not qualified. I need education, right? Okay. All right. So then you get some education and it's still not happening. Okay. So what's under that? Well, I'm afraid of success. Okay. Well, we'll deal with that. What's behind that fear of success? Well, so-and-so, my parents always told me I'd never be anything, or I'd never amount to anything. I'd never accomplish anything. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. And what's under that? And for almost all of us, once you drill down, what I call dig deeper for the deeper dookie, the very bottom for all of us is there's a lack of receiving, and then under that is the fear that we are not worthy. And this colors everything that we do. And so what I'm telling you right now actually is very like the very tip of the iceberg of coaching. It's helping you understand what is at the bottom of you not getting what you want. And if you start saying, well, I don't want to be greedy, you need a coach. You need a coach. So there's a lot of that kind of thing. My own process is built around you. And so in MoJo My Life, which is the group coaching, I will have a topic for each session and then pick volunteers out of the group to talk about their specific stuff. And so just like in one of my psychic salons where I talk about the group effect and how you being witness to someone else's reading, or in this case, someone else's hot seat coaching, you being witness to that allows you to learn and get messages as well. Information that's important to you. And in this group, which we meet on video conference, let's say I'm talking to Sharon and you say, oh, I need to talk. So you raise your hand and I go, okay, I'll call on you. And you go, what you just told Sharon about such and such, does that apply to me in this situation? Yes, it does. Let's talk to you about that some more. And then everybody in the group gets to benefit from what you have to say as well. And so working together, we create a community where we all learn, where we all grow, where we all achieve, accomplish, and acquire what we want. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Coaching is not therapy. It's different, but there are some aspects of each one in the other. Okay, I am not a therapist. I'm not a clinical therapist. I am a psychic medium and a coach. Okay, I specialize in manifestation, which means getting what you want to accomplish, achieve, or acquire. Okay. I hope that all makes sense to you. And I've been on for 15 minutes, and that's long enough. But I felt like this was a really important message for you, and I wanted you to know. All right. Let me know if you have questions. Give me questions in the comments, and I will come back and answer you. Oh, and please remember to subscribe. I really appreciate it. The more subscribers I've got here, the more I can do for you. That's the way it works. Okay, let me see. Where is the off button? I'm so used to Facebook Live, coming over here to YouTube, it's different. All right, we've got an in-stream button. I don't know if it's going to give me a chance to sign off, so I'm going to say MoJo out. Oh, find me on the web at mojomedium.com. Hold on. Yes. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Get out there and make some magic. See you soon on MoJo My Life. You'll find it at mojomedium.com.